Hey YouTubers, Skeeter Handyman here. I'm going to do a quick little video on portable garages, or garage in a box as they're sometimes called. I can't find anything else out there, so I thought I'd put together a little video on how to make these things last up to 10 years. You heard me right, they can last up to 10 years. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. So this is how our portable garages start out. Looks great, right? That's the way they should look. But after a few years, we might start seeing things like this. Uh-oh, what happened here? Could be wind damage, but the main culprit is two letters, UV. So here's how to solve this problem. It's really quite simple, and it's only going to cost you about 50 bucks a year, including the tape. So make sure you get these tarps on sale. I got this one on sale at TSC, I think for $35, which was half price. And they come on sale a couple of times a year at half price. So you throw it up really nice and loose over the top of your tent. Don't tighten it at all. You just want it laying nice and loose, and you start tucking it in around the edges. You just work your way in and get it in around the bars. Now I'm showing wood here on the back of my tent because I tend to make mine a little more solid so they don't move around. We have a lot of wind here, so that's why I chose to do that. But you don't need to do that just for this fix for the top to keep the UV off your tent. So you work it in around the edges, front and back. Here I'm just tucking it in around the front. You can get it right in around the bars. And the tarp I bought for my tent was an 18 by 24 because my tent was 20 by 10. So the 24-foot length is perfect to give you a couple of feet at each end to tuck in around. Here you can see I've just tucked it all in around. It's all nice and neat. So what we do on the inside is you bring it in and just pull it in. So you have some tarp that you can put some tape on to your existing tent. What that's going to do is keep the wind from working this thing out and blowing it off your tent. That way it takes very little to hold the sides down after, and all you need is a few pieces of tape. You can see my old tape there from the old tarp. So I use Gorilla tape. I've experimented with a couple of different tapes. You can buy tarp tape or duct tape. They all work fairly well, but I found the Gorilla tape was one of the better ones. It's just a lot stickier and you can get a really wide roll. So I put a piece on the outside corners, and then I just wrap it around to the inside and just tuck it right in around the back. That just keeps the corners stable. Now you do have to check that tape a couple of times, just make sure depends on the temperature too. If it's really cold out, I recommend you just get a heat gun and just kind of seal that up nicely. So you can see on the inside where I've used the tape every couple of feet. You just put a couple of pieces on just to hold it. That way the wind can't get at it at all and pull it out. I found this was the easiest, quickest way. And on the outside, on my sides, I just wrap another piece of tape around each grommet because we're actually going to use those grommet holes for rope working down the sides, and that's to hold the sides down to keep the wind from pulling it up. So we're going to be weaving the rope up and down from those grommets, and I just started right from the back corner. You can see the ratchet there. I just put an S hook at the bottom, tied my rope to it, and just started from the corner point. So that's quite simple. And you just come around the corner and up to your first grommet. Just had to poke them out with a knife and put it down to an anchor that you have in the ground. You can use, it depends on your installation. This one was installed in cement sonotubes, so I had some plates here, as you can see, that I connected it to, but I also bought some of those extra anchors that you can get to screw in the ground. And then what you do is you just weave up and down, and you keep it loose at this point because your tarp needs to be loose. This is an aftershot, so it's tight now. But when you first do this, just leave it loose. Don't tighten it up hard. Because what happens is as soon as the sun hits this thing, it tightens the whole thing up. So if you haven't left it loose to start, you're going to end up ripping your tarp. So this is my smaller tent. I chose to use the premium tarp on it because it was small, a lot less expensive. Again, 50% off. So I'll probably get a couple of years out of that roof. This is my original tent. I just put a new tarp on it because the top finally let go, but that was after 10 years. Now the first 2 years I didn't use this fix, so I just kind of learned by trial and error. And what was happening is the ultraviolet rays, this is This is the reason these things go bad. The ultraviolet rays weakens your material, and then it starts to rip, and then the wind just gets at it and ruins the whole thing. So literally within 2 years to 3 years, if you have these things out in the bright sun, they can be completely destroyed. But I found all you have to do is cover the top with another tarp, and you basically change it once a year, and that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.